If I liked Xbox as much as Nintendo, Phil Spencer would be getting it worse than that man. Xbox One has been a total disaster and completely mismanaged by Microsoft. Xbox One came out in 2013, and here we are still talking about wait to E3. Fanboys killed Xbox One just like they killed the Wii U. And I stand by that tweet I made a couple days ago because I unequivocally and 100% believe in that tweet. The Xbox One launched at $500, $100 more than a more powerful console. It launched with no clear direction that left consumers confused. From launch day to today, Microsoft still has not made any efforts to develop in-house studios nor in-house games. While Sony's had their studios at work since day one, all Microsoft did was pay for multi-platform games while continuing to make the only three games that they know how to make: Halo, Gears, and Forza. Sony continues to build new IPs, new studios, and new games while Microsoft has done nothing of that sort this entire generation. This entire generation, Microsoft has done nothing but make excuses and create buzzwords. And as far as excuses go, look no further than these Xbox fans saying, wait to E3. For going 5 years into this generation. How are we still waiting for anything this far into the generation? The fans have made excuses for inferior hardware, a lack of games, a lack of Japanese support, a lack of exclusives, a lack of new IPs, a lack of in-house developers, and you want to know the only thing excuses will get you in life? It gets you constant problems. Do you think Japanese developers are going to feel encouraged about bringing games to the Xbox when its fan base is constantly berating them and berating their games? Do you think Microsoft is going to try to remedy the lack of exclusive games if the fan base keeps saying that they have enough? Do you think Microsoft is going to try to create any new IPs when its fan base keeps saying all we want is Halo, Gears, and Forza? Do you think they are going to waste their time and their money trying to open up new development studios based on all the above? The answer is no. And now next up we have the buzzwords. These are the primary self-defense mechanisms for Xbox and their fan base. The Kinect advantage. Where's Kinect now? It's dead. DirectX 12. What'd that do? Nothing. Cloud computing. Supercomputers. 4 Titans. Where's that at? We're still waiting for Crackdown. True 4K. We know how that turned out. HDR. A game changer. HDR makes games play better on the Xbox One, even though HDR doesn't affect gameplay at all. Remember the whole Win 10 fam? Windows 10 crossplay? Win 10 fam, man. I mean, come on. Then we have a 4K Blu-ray player, which is nice, but still, at the end of the day, has nothing to do with gaming. It's a 4K Blu-ray player. And then we have my favorite, wait to E3. We used to make fun of Nintendo Ultra for wait to E3 so Nintendo can silence all of you haters. And yet, people laughed at Ultra, but the same people laughing at Ultra are the same people 3 years later making this excuse. It is all crap. All this crap that Microsoft and its fanbase talk about has little to nothing to do with gaming. These buzzwords only exist as a distraction to shift the focus off of what really matters, and that is actual games. I mean, we have people now saying that HDR, once again, is a game changer. It's a game changer that makes games play better on consoles. But again, like I said before, HDR has nothing to do with how a game plays. It has nothing to do with input response. It has nothing to do with frame rate. It has nothing to do with field of view. It has nothing to do with gameplay. But lo and behold, this is what the Xbox fan base does. They damage control with what they have because they have nothing else. And the Xbox One is a victim of Microsoft's mismanagement. And Microsoft has been managing the Xbox One worse than the front office of the Cleveland Browns. The 0-16 Cleveland Browns. How does one of the wealthiest companies in the world not only lose, but get completely obliterated by a company that lost billions and was close to bankruptcy via the PlayStation 3? This is like the Tampa Bay Devil Rays outspending, clawing, beating, and destroying the New York Yankees, which should not ever happen. I mean, Sony lost billions on the PlayStation 3, was forced to sell buildings, studios, developers. You had all these Xbox fanboys laughing that the PlayStation brand is no more. At the end of the day, Sony not only found a way to win, but they found a way to spend more money on games, studios, and advertising than the billion-dollar Microsoft. Imagine that. I mean, you name it, Sony has spent more money on it than Microsoft. What does Microsoft spend their money on? $2.5 billion on Minecraft, a one-trick pony developer? $100 million on controllers? I mean, like, what is going on here? They bought Havoc and the fan base is celebrating over it? Why not celebrate when they actually buy a developer, or they actually spend money to develop a game? I mean, all this is happening while Sony is up here worrying about gaming, worrying about handling their business, yet Microsoft is worrying about spending $2.5 million on one developer, one game, and $100 million on countless iterations of a crappy controller. I swear, it's like you people all of a sudden forgot what happened to the Wii U. Nintendo came out with an underwhelming console. Fanboys damage controlled for it. Nintendo never bothered to improve it because of that. And the Wii U ended up dead in the grave, finished as a disaster. And if I liked Microsoft's little 3 games as much as I liked Nintendo, maybe I would have made this video sooner. But honestly, I don't care about Microsoft. All Microsoft does is accelerate the natural progression of video games at the expense of actual gaming. They don't do anything in regards to gaming. They just want to monetize it, make it a service, buy up Havoc, buy up Skype. They just want to have all their hands in all these little individual pots, but they don't want to make games. Notice how the people that were most disappointed in Fable and Scalebound being canceled were not Xbox gamers. Now, why is this? Simple, because they aren't about playing games. They're about making excuses and growing YouTube channels. These Xbox guys you see on YouTube are not real gamers. They are sad, lonely souls, adults who have no social life. And because they have no social life, they turn to the internet to play pretend. Let's put it this way. I haven't touched Gears of War online multiplayer since Gears of War 2 in 2008. That is 10 years ago. You know that game that took 10 to 15 minutes to get into an actual match? Yeah, 10 years ago. Yet even after a 10-year layoff, I beat a guy who calls himself the best bot, who knows maybe he just didn't activate his HDR for the best gameplay experience. But I beat a guy calling himself the best bot after not touching this game for 10 years. I doubt I could just hop into Uncharted and do that on PlayStation 4. I doubt I could do that in Splatoon or Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch. But on the Xbox, you can do this because Xbox gamers and the fanboys on YouTube are absolute gutter trash. All in all, the Xbox brand is trash. Microsoft can't manage it, and the fanbase suffers from a severe case of Stockholm Syndrome. This is the only industry I know where the consumers are content with mediocrity instead of asking for more, instead of asking for better. They act like asking for more and better is a bad thing, like we should ever be satisfied, because once you get satisfied, you stop getting better. And if you don't ask for better, you'll never get better. But hey, Sony turned the tides mid-gen despite all the disasters of the PlayStation 3. But Microsoft, on the other hand, does not seem to be capable of doing so.